Hello and welcome to another video. In this week's video we are going to be exploring the most invisible short rows that you can do. I'm sharing the method that I have found works best for me, and that is a combination German style short rows, which has just a tiny bit of a trick that I have found makes a huge difference. Short rows can be a great tool to shape your necklines, your sleeve caps, and fix a lot of the fit problem. And if you are interested in how to exactly calculate your short rows to achieve a beautiful crew neck like I do here on my jumper that I'm wearing today, you can check out my other video that I have released a few weeks ago that walks you through why exactly your necklines are not as round as you want them to be and how to fix that. But now let's jump into this week's video and I will show you how to knit your most invisible short rows. I have my swatch here in front of me and I am ready to start with my short rows. So I am on the right side currently, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be knitting until I reach a point where I want to turn. So I have reached the middle and I've actually knitted past the middle of the swatch. So I'm gonna knit one more stitch and turn. So what I'm doing is I am basically turning my work so that the wrong side faces me. And now what I need to do is I will need to transfer this last stitch that I have knitted and form something that is called a double stitch. So what I am doing is I'm transferring my yarn to the wrong side so it faces me right now. Now I am transferring this stitch, entering it as if to purl, taking it off on my right needle. Now transferring my working yarn to the right side, so to the back, and can you see how this double loop is forming on my right needle right here? So what I'm doing is I'm basically pulling on the working yarn to the back and to the bottom of this stitch, and now I have this nice double stitch on my needles. Whoops, I think I just lost one. There we go. Okay, so this is my double stitch. I am tightening it up quite nicely and I'm continuing my work. I will be knitting a few stitches, maybe 4 or 5. And let's say now I want to turn again, so this will be my last stitch that I knit, and then I want to turn. And instead of knitting it as I normally would purl like this, I am entering it in the same way as I do as if to purl, but instead of going under my working yarn and grabbing it towards the right, what I'm doing is I'm wrapping it from the top and pulling it through my stitch. So let's do it once again. What I'm doing is I'm entering my stitch as if to purl, and purling this last stitch. Now I'm turning my work again. As you can see, this stitch right now is positioned differently, not as it normally does when you knit. And what I would do is with my yarn in the back, I am transferring it on my needle as if to purl. Now I am bringing my working yarn in front and I am forming this double stitch in the other direction. So this is it. This is my double stitch that got formed. I'm pulling on it tightly, not only to the front but also to the bottom of the stitch. So now I am continuing to work on my right side until I reach this double stitch that we have formed when we turned before. And what I need to do is I will knit it as one stitch. So I will enter it as I normally would, as if to knit. Make sure I grab all of these strands. I'm gonna knit it, I'm gonna tighten my yarn, and I'm gonna knit 3 more. Now I will turn and we will do the same thing once again. So I am transferring my yarn to the front of my work, entering this stitch as if to purl, and pulling my yarn to the back and towards the bottom. This is my double stitch formed. And now I will be continuing working as normal. Until I reach the double stitch on the other side. Here it is. Here is how it looks. And what I need to do is I need to purl it, twist it, so through the back loop. I am transferring my working yarn to the front, entering this stitch from the back and purling it. Tightening the stitch, and now we'll knit 3 more and I will turn. But as I said before, my last stitch before the turn, I am not knitting normally as I would, so not grabbing my yarn from this direction, but rather wrapping it in the other way and tightening it. Let's turn. Now I am with my working yarn in the back. I am entering it as if to purl and pulling on my working yarn so that it twists to the front, forming the double stitch. The main secret is to pull on your double stitches tightly and to make sure you do not only transfer the working yarn to the back but also pull it towards the bottom of the stitch. So here is my double stitch on the right side. I am knitting it as if it was just one and doing 3 more. As you can see, here are our short rows forming, and as you can see, the stitches are quite invisible. There we go. This is how my short rows look. Can you see how my cable turns a bit because of this extra fabric? I think on the right side you basically cannot see where I have turned, so no short rows are visible. Though if I look closer, I can tell you that I have turned here and here and probably somewhere around here. On the left side, I think the short rows are a bit more visible, so you can see this stitch that is a bit twisted. This is my turn. This is the second one. This is the third. And what I like to do, so I tend to hold my tension very well on the wrong side when I turn, and for the right side it's a bit more problematic for me. So what I like to do is I like to go in with a needle and basically redistribute the extra yarn that I got, so that these short rows are a bit less visible. There we go, and now the last one. There we go. Well, now I don't think you can see where I did my short rows exactly. This is how you achieve the most invisible short rows as you can get. So if you look at it from the wrong side, you will see that the short rows are a bit more prominent because you got those bumps in the fabric. But from the right side, I would say, it is pretty much invisible. So there you have it, the most invisible German modified short rows. I hope this will helpful, and I will see you in the next video.